Senator Cassidy.
I'll defer to Senator Tillis.
Okay, Senator Tillis.
Thank you, Senator Cassidy, and Senator Grassley. Thank you for letting me sit on this committee. I'm not an official member. Back when I was 12 years old, back in 1973, I had to apply for a work permit so that I could work for a convenience store. In 1973, I posted my first contribution to Social Security as a 12-year-old actually, $33.
Picture a 12-year-old kid, his first paycheck in hand, big dreams in his eyes. But no one tells him that those $33 will spark one of the biggest debates in the country 50 years later. Today, that kid is a senator, and he's facing a panel of experts with just one question. Who exactly do you mean
About what
by
rich mean? We picked Bezos, we picked some of the other ones. What's rich to you? What's the threshold for rich that we should be applying all of this rich people stuff to? What's that threshold? Because ultimately, as a matter of legislation, we got to come up with one. So what's rich in your mind?
Well, certainly the top 1%, there's been a
Now, give me an income level. Give me an income level.
Well, often for tax purposes, it's $250,000. There's proposals that are $400,000.
Does that sweep in the small businesses, the rich people that are members of NFIB? I'm just trying to get a beat on it.
Notice how these numbers just float around without a clear answer. 250,000? 400,000? This confusion is actually the biggest problem in Washington itself. If they can't even agree on the definition of rich, how are millions of people supposed to plan their retirement?
Let me just tell you, just an observation. I don't want to be antagonistic towards you all. Mr. Akabas, in your opening statement, you talked about the reality of people running for re-election. Quite honestly, when I was weighing whether or not I run for re-election, the reality that I would be running hard to then inherit an insolvency issue with Social Security was a real consideration for me. I have no doubt that in the next 6 years, Congress is going to have to face up. My concern is I don't see any change in rhetoric whatsoever. If you go back to 2010 and the Simpson-Bowles Commission, we had an opportunity to fix it then. The debt was at about $12 trillion. The Simpson-Bowles subtitle, the report was Moment of Truth. Now the debt's at $36 trillion. I heard somebody say, well, we won't cut benefits, we'll just stroke a check. Mr. Akabas, what happens if we continue our debt trajectory right now? Do you necessarily think that we have a check that we can stroke without causing other debt problems? I mean, how do we avoid the mandatory cuts? And what is our bank account and our check writing ability likely to look at in 2032, in 2032?
Thank you, Senator. That is a huge concern. The growing debt burden that we have as a country, where debt is already equal to approximately 100% of GDP, is already slowing.
Here's the part of the iceberg you don't see. $36 trillion in debt, 100% of GDP. And now add a Social Security insolvency crisis on top of that. That sentence from the expert's own mouth is actually a warning. These crises might not hit one at a time. They could hit all at once.
For you to get your Social Security benefits as a part of fixing them. What's wrong with me telling somebody that's 40 years away from qualifying for Social Security that you may have to wait another year? The bad news is you got to wait another year. The good news is if we implement the reforms, you'll actually be able to get that check. What's wrong with that?
This moment sums up politics perfectly. A woman approaches the senator, driven by genuine fear. You're going to take away our safety net. His response is unexpected. He brings his own mother into it and instantly diffuses the tension. But the real question still stands. Is this fear real or just part of a war of rhetoric?
Why is it so sacrosanct?
Because what Social
life expectancy and earning potential?
Because what Social Security is insurance, it's not savings. So it is your view, you can't touch age limits. No.
You can't do any indexing. It must stay firm, or the organization you represent would come across any compromise. Is that your view?
We're happy to talk about revenue increases.
But you would oppose anything that has to do with indexing?
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
And here's the final word. After all that debate, all those numbers, all those stories, this is what's left. A flat no. Which doors are still open for reform and which ones are closed for good? The answer is clearer than you'd think.